Don't blame the doctor or the hospital, wake up. The case of a young parent losing their child due to a doctor's and hospital's negligence, stating the issue, not making accusations, is heartbreaking. But whether you side with the grieving family or the hospital, it won't solve the problem, it only adds to the tension, increases societal pressure, and leaves many young parents unknowingly at risk of becoming victims themselves. I am also a father of a small child. My wife and I went through stressful days when our baby was born, but we successfully navigated those challenges. I am not speaking to defend any side, I am sharing so you can learn from our experience and make it through successfully. Just like we did, before I share our story. Please take a moment to clear your mind and read these words carefully. In such an unfortunate event, both the grieving family and the hospital's doctors are victims, but remember, the family is not a victim of the hospital, and the hospital is not the culprit behind their loss. There are things you may find hard to accept. You may insist on your perspective. And that's fine. It doesn't affect me at all. The loss or gain is yours alone, and has nothing to do with me. I have already overcome my challenges and now stand here, watching you throw a tantrum like a child. Our baby was born naturally, at home, with the assistance of a local midwife where we were temporarily living. It was a risky decision, but not the key factor in our success. Because whether you give birth at a hospital or at home, you need to be fully prepared. After our baby was born, they developed an infection at the umbilical cord site. One day later, they had a high fever that lasted 3 days. It wasn't until the 4th day that we, too young, inexperienced parents, realized the severity of the situation and took our baby to the Provincial Children's Hospital. At the hospital, we were faced with vaccines, medical consultations based on standard medical literature, and the awareness that if we didn't follow the prescribed treatment, we might lose our child forever. The atmosphere was already tense. And then we saw a mother collapsing in grief. Her child had just passed away. She had given birth at another hospital. But when complications arose, they rushed the baby to the children's hospital as quickly and responsibly as possible. But by the time she arrived, her baby was no longer breathing. The child was kept in a special room for those who weren't fortunate enough to survive. We looked at each other, but we didn't panic. Instead, we remained calm. In that chaotic and sorrowful space, we could still hear our own breaths. We discussed our options, and I let my wife make the final decision. No matter what, I respected her choice. I believe she had more say in what happened next than I did. In the end, we refused newborn vaccines, refused supplemental shots, rejected the doctor's antibiotic treatment plan, and declined phototherapy. Instead, we monitored our baby's fever, practiced skin-to-skin contact, requested additional milk, and, fortunately, our baby's fever started to subside. In the first 10 days of life, our baby had to go to 2 hospitals, undergo blood tests, and endure painful blood draws. Seeing our child cry in agony was indescribable. There were moments when I wanted to look away, but my rational mind wouldn't let me. I had to face it head-on to protect my child. No antibiotics, no vaccines. We asked the doctors detailed questions, discussed test results, and placed unwavering trust in our baby's strength. In the end, Our child only needed 2 fever-reducing suppositories, 2 saline IVs, daily umbilical cord cleaning, and they fully recovered. Today, our baby is incredibly healthy, but I'm not telling you this so you will follow our approach. This is just the middle of the journey, the most intense part that anyone can see. It's the phase of fixing a small mistake, for us to handle things this way. We spent 5 years preparing. For 5 years. We meditated, ate a healthy vegetarian diet, exercised, and changed our lifestyle and worked to prepare for pregnancy. During the 9 months of pregnancy, we communicated with our baby, studied natural birth, practiced skin-to-skin contact, learned about colostrum, and planned for delayed cord clamping. Yet, despite all our preparation, one small mistake, not being well informed about sterile techniques for cutting the umbilical cord, led to a high-stress, life or death struggle in our baby's first 10 days. I'm sharing this so you understand that you are not a victim of the hospital or the doctors. You are in control. You make the decisions. You are the one who needs to be fully prepared. You are the one who must accept any situation that arises. Doctors and hospitals are not miracle workers who can bring the dead back to life or turn danger into safety. That's not how nature works. They are simply there to support and assist you. One more thing, money is not the issue. Before, during, and after pregnancy, we spent very little. Yet we were never stingy when it mattered. Remember this, spending money wisely will help you get through tough times far better than blindly paying tens of millions for unnecessary procedures due to a lack of knowledge. Instead, spend decisively when you truly need to solve a critical issue. In the end, you'll save far more. When an accident happens, the law may determine what is right or wrong based on existing regulations. But that won't make your life any better. Remember this, if something unfortunate happens, even if the law says you are right, you are still wrong. You are wrong for having lived in a way that led you into this disaster. That's why you need to prepare yourself early. That's why we spent at least 5 years changing everything to prepare for our baby's arrival. So stop grieving. Stop arguing about who is right or wrong. Don't take sides. Wake up. Only you have the power to decide what you will go through, not the doctors, not the hospital, not anyone else.